So I am MTGO grinder, Magic Online grinder, PTarts to win, and I'm just coming to you with a video today where I'm going to run Etron through a league. Etron is a deck that is kind of a mid-rangey big mana deck. It is a modern deck that utilizes the Tron lands, which are a set of 3 different lands. You have the Urza's Mine, the Urza's Power Plant, and the Urza's Tower that in combination with each other, so if you have one Urza's Mine, one Urza's Power Plant, and one Urza's Tower, they make 7 mana. So you get 7 colorless mana for the low price of 3 lands. So what do you do with all this mana? You try and translate it into big, scary Eldrazi monsters, or a big walking ballista, or a Karn that can go get any of your sideboard cards, which we will talk about in a bit. It also utilizes Eldrazi Temple, which is a land that taps for 1 colorless, but will tap for 2 colorless when casting an Eldrazi spell. Additionally, we have 3 Blast Zones. This is to deal with prowess creatures like Monastery Swiftspear or Soulscar Mage, as well as pesky Death Shadows. We have 1 Cavern of Souls to deal with the control decks, 1 Scavenger Grounds to deal with graveyard decks, 1 Tectonic Edge to deal with other big mana decks such as Amulet Titan, Tron, or the Mirror of Etron, and then 2 Wastes in case our opponents choose to Ghost Quarter us or Field of Ruin us. We play 4 Expedition maps in order to find all of our Tron pieces or a utility land if we need it. We have 3 Mazemind Tomes, which has been called the Sylvan Library of Modern. I don't think it is quite that good, but it is certainly a very good card at gaining us card advantage late in the game, as well as smoothing out our draws. We have 1 Spatial Contortion to deal with smaller aggressive creatures that can get underneath us. Dismember can serve the same purpose of killing smaller creatures, although it does cost us some life. But it can do double duty in killing bigger creatures such as Tarmogoyf for a Gurmag Angler. Matter Reshaper is just our cheapest Eldrazi. It's often very easy to cast this for just 2 lands, an Eldrazi Temple and just any other land. Thought-Knot Seer is kind of the best Eldrazi in our deck. It gets to look at the opponent's hand, get some information from that, and then take a card out, as well as just being a 4/4 body. We have Reality Smasher, which is basically a big dragon of an Eldrazi. It's just a 5 mana, 5/5 trampler with haste. Ugin kind of ramps us as well. It makes all of our colorless spells cost 2 less. Every card in our deck is colorless other than Dismember, as well as just generating advantage by making a 2/2 every turn. That when it dies, we get a card that's exiled under it into our hand. Can also destroy colored permanents and such as really anything, any pesky permanents that we want to destroy. All is Dust, 7 mana, will make every opponent sacrifice, or every player sacrifice all colored permanents they control. Luckily, we don't have any colored permanents at all. Walking Ballista, we can just pump a bunch of mana into it and just have it deal damage to either the player or their creatures. Just a great card, especially when you have a lot of mana. Chalice of the Void is there to stop the aggressive decks that can get under us, as well as combo decks. And then Karn, very powerful card against artifact matchups, as it stops activated abilities of artifacts, as well as being able to get into our sideboard and take any of our artifact cards out and put them into our hand. We have Tormod's Crypt, as well as Relic of Progenitus and Grafdigger's Cage to stop graveyard decks. We have Pithing Needle, as well as Sorcerer's Spyglass to stop activated abilities of things like Planeswalkers. Sometimes we can snag fetch lands, anything like that. Torpor Orb stops triggered abilities of creatures entering the battlefield. This is very relevant against decks like Dredge, where when creatures enter the battlefield, they'll be activating Prized Amalgam's ability. This stops that. It also is very good against humans that have a lot of enter the battlefield triggers, such as Thalia's Lieutenant. We have Ratchet Bomb, which is just a good way to destroy small creatures or tokens. kind of serves the same purpose as Blast Zone. Liquid Metal Coating, often the artifact that we get the most. Liquid Metal Coating in combination with Karn makes it so that you can activate it on a land. The land cannot tap for mana because tapping would be an activated ability. Karn shuts off activated abilities. Liquid Metal Coating makes it an artifact. And then if we can untap with Liquid Metal Coating and Karn, we can make their land an artifact. Karn has an additional ability that he pluses 1 in loyalty, and he makes an artifact a creature equal to its CMC. A land has a CMC of 0. It will destroy the land. We have an Ensnaring Bridge. This is to stop, say, our opponent on humans or dredge or whatever who builds up a very large board state. We don't want them attacking us. We can just play an Ensnaring Bridge, and if our hand is small enough, it'll buy us some time. Sky Sovereign. This is just kind of a way to deal 3 damage to either a planeswalker or a creature, as well as just being something that can do repetitive damage and then kind of just punch in. In combination with Karn can tick up on Sky Sovereign and it kind of crews it in a way. Alternatively, you can just use like a Matter Reshaper or a Thought-Knot Seer to crew it. Wormcoil Engine, just like a big, massive artifact that is very hard for mid-range decks to deal with, as well as very good in the mirror. It's bigger than all the other creatures in this deck. It's bigger than most creatures that see play in Modern, and even if it's smaller than it, it has Death Touch. An additional All Is Dust for a lot of decks that are kind of going to go wide on the board. Sundering Titan against Primeval Titan decks. Just to be able to destroy their lands, kind of slow them down, or just beat them. It's also just a big body. And then an additional Walking Ballista, just as you want the utility of being able to get it from Karn out of the board. So I think that this deck is very well positioned in Modern right now. I think it is a very good deck. My friend and fellow teammate, Cabal member, TheTunnelingCat, a Moto Grinder, just won a very, very large 10-round PTQ on Magic Online with it. I'm playing their exact list, and let's run it through a league. Alright, so we're on the play for this matchup. So this hand looks pretty good. We have 2 of our Tron lands, and we have an Expedition map to find the 3rd one. So we're going to have turn 3 Tron here. Zergun, did Ashiok do well with the deck too? I did not realize that. People know that TheTunnelingCat did the best with it though. So our next turn here, we're just going to be looking to activate the Expedition map and get our 3rd Tron piece. So unfortunately, our opponent is playing Is It Prowess, which can get under us pretty well, and we don't have a Chalice of the Void to stop them. Yep, so we're just sticking to our game plan here. If we had drawn a Spatial Contortion to kill the Soulscar Mage and slow them down, we might have had to think about doing that, but because we don't have it, we just have to go with this plan, which is not a bad plan. I mean, we're going to have 7 mana on turn 3. Yep, so they have another Soulscar Mage. Oh, so they have 3 creatures. This is getting a little bit scary. So we'll just activate this now. We're going to be getting the Mine. So I think here we might just have to Thought-Knot Seer and play a map. We kind of just want to stem the bleeding, and then with this map we'll be able to get a Blast Zone and deal with all their 1-drops. Alright. So we want to take Mutagenic Growth. Light Up the Stage is pretty good for them because they will be able to get the 2 cards, but I don't want them to have a card where they're going to be able to trade with my Thought-Knot Seer, as when Thought-Knot Seer dies, they get to draw a card. So then we'll play our Expedition map. We also saw a Spire Bluff Canal in their hand, meaning that they are the blue-red version of this deck. So they play a, I can't remember the name of the card now, but it is a 5-mana 3/3 Prowess Flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you scry 2, and if you had cast an instant or sorcery spell that turn already, it costs 3 less, so it's just 1 in a blue if you had already, say, cast a Gut Shot. So we're really hoping that they kind of whiff on this one here, so that we can block with our Thought-Knot Seers. We're going to be in a tough spot if they hit a spell. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I'm hoping that they just go and cast their Stormwing Entity, though. I think likely they'll just attack and see what I do. If I block, they'll fire off the Lava Dart. If not, they will cast their Stormwing Entity. I think I'm kind of priced into blocking here. I don't want to take 12 damage and then have to face down a Stormwing Entity next turn. As they can just Lava Dart this turn, flashback Lava Dart next turn, and oh, okay, so they're not even giving me they're not even presenting like kind of an option here, which I don't think is the best for my opponent. I would have just attacked and seen what I did if I were in their shoes. Yeah, so I think I just have to block here. And then unfortunately they get to draw a card. So we're going to crack this Expedition map and get us a Blast Zone. So we'll just pop off our Blast Zone here, kill all their creatures. And then I think we should play a Karn. Let me think about what I want to get with Karn here. Interesting. I think it might be worthwhile actually to get Tormod's Script. It makes it so that if they don't have a 1-drop spell, they won't be able to cast their Stormwing Entity, 1 or 0 cast spell, because at this point they have the Lava Dart. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Oh yeah, you're right, Ezregun. Actually, I should have just popped it on their turn. That was a little bit of a misstep there. I don't think it overly matters, but if they do have a Monastery Swiftspear, it could bode a little bit poorly for us. So we're just going to fire this off here. And I could see them exiling their Lava Dart. The issue there then becomes that they have to have land plus 1-drop spell or a 0-mana spell, because then they'll just be on 2 mana, which is what Storming will cost. Alright, so it looks like they're going to do that. Yeah, so unfortunately they had a 0 mana spell. I will, however, be able to answer Stormwing with Ugin. We'll just be in a bad spot if they have like a Monastery Swiftspear afterwards. Alright, this is quite good. Because Ugin's cost reduction ability, we're going to be able to cast this Reality Smasher for just 3 mana. I'll be able to destroy this. I just have to tick up on this on nothing. Because I have the other Ugin in hand, I think it is worthwhile to just get in with an attack. I don't want to end up having missed damage throughout the course of the game and then burning me out from 8. Yeah, so they're just Metamorphosing here. This is a good sign for me. They're just kind of spinning their wheels, not really doing anything. Phantom Bow MTG, thank you for the follow. Alright, so what is this? I don't know what my opponent's really thinking about. They only have 1 card in hand. Okay, they don't have anything. They could just have a 1 mana spell in their hand and they're just kind of waiting on it. This Chalice is excellent. So we don't have to pay any mana for this Chalice, and it will just come down on 1 because of Ugin. 1 because most of their mana is, or most of their spells only cost 1 mana. But Reality Smasher, and then I'm just going to get a Walking Ballista to be able to clear up the damage, hopefully. Yeah, and they've seen enough. They know what's going to happen. How do I sideboard for this matchup? Looks like I take out 3 of my Karns, my Ugins for a Sky Sovereign, a All Is Dust, a Wormcoil, a Ratchet Bomb, and a Walking Ballista. Breathe you in like oxygen. Oh, in an otherwise suffocating world. I'm reaching out. So this hand is pretty bad. We don't even have a second mana, so this is just an easy mulligan here. I think that this hand is pretty bad for this matchup. They're going to be pretty fast and get under us, and we don't really have anything that's doing anything great. Possibly if this had a Chalice, it would have been a bit better, but especially because we're on the draw, it's just not good enough. So at 5 here, it might be worthwhile to keep this. It has a Blast Zone, so I can catch up. It has an out if I draw an Eldrazi Temple to a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, into a turn 3 Reality Smasher. It has the Expedition map to find an Eldrazi Temple. That would be a turn 3 Thought-Knot into a turn 4 Reality Smasher. So I think I'm going to keep here. I think we're going to have to get rid of Urza's Mine. And yeah, Walking Ballista. This hand isn't excellent by any means, but at 5 cards, this is kind of a hand that we have to keep. Who Lives Hoodies, thank you for the follow. Well, actually, I kind of want to lead on Tron because they have turn 2 Thought Knot, and they're like prowess as well. So I kind of need to like be doing something early. Like even like Tron is like not really gonna be like that great. Like it's good, but I'd rather just like gamble on a turn 2 Thought Knot. All right, so our opponent doesn't have a creature. Yeah, but the Thought Knot at best will then come down on turn 3, which I kind of want it to come down on turn 2. I mean, I could be wrong, but so our opponent not having any creatures here is a pretty good sign for us. That's kind of how we get destroyed, is just their creatures with their prowess triggers. They're not really set up to just kind of burn us out. They have lots of burn spells, but it's not really the axis that their deck wants to function on. Actually, I also don't have like Karn, and like I have one card in my deck, and I don't have any of my what's it called Ugins in my deck. So like my only threats are Eldrazi spells now, other than Walking Ballista. And I guess Wormcoil. I'm just following TunnelingCat's sideboard guide. Alright. So this is kind of problematic here. Discard 1 top, 1 bottom. Ideally, we want to draw some way to answer this. I think we're just going to get a Tron piece here. We will get Power Plant. Ideally, I want to be searching for the tower last in case I have to use Tron lands. The tower will tap for 1 more, and it will be the land coming in untapped. Luckily, Eldrazi Temple will cast for 2 mana on this Olive's Dust, as it is a tribal Eldrazi sorcery. Yeah, we have Dust in our deck, Ashiok, but like I just said, like Eldrazi Temple functions as like a Tron land essentially with Olive's Dust. So their hand must be pretty light if they're just going to fire off a bolt here. Okay. I'm kind of interested in just taking a mutagenic growth here to slow down the bleeding. These Abrades are really good against Chalice, but I can only take 1. Yeah, so I'll just take mutagenic growth here. Alright, so they had put a Light Up the Stage on top. Alright, this is pretty scary for next turn. That's 6. So this will be a kill next turn if I don't have something that I can do here. I think we just have to bluff at this point. So let's see if our opponent can find the pretty easy line to kill us here. Yeah, at this point, there's not really much we could be bluffing because this will get over our Dismember's kill. So it should be just pretty textbook for them from here. Yeah, and we're just dead to the prowess trigger. It'll go up to an 8-8. Yep, so no changes from play to the draw, so we're just going to run it back like this. On the play here, we'll really be looking for a hand that's going to have Chalice, that we can just play a Chalice on one, and then hopefully they'll only just have one creature underneath it that we'll be able to deal with later on in the game. Yeah, so this hand has a lot of good early interaction, but doesn't really have anything going on good for it late. Its lands aren't very powerful, and like I said, it doesn't have that Chalice that we're looking for. Now this hand's a lot better, actually. It has the Chalice, it has Map to find some lands that we might need, it has a Sky Sovereign for late. So I think we're going to keep this, but I actually think we're going to pitch the Sky Sovereign and keep the Walking Ballista around. So here we're finally on Expedition Map. We don't have like the Eldrazi, like Thought-Knot Seer that we're really looking to cast early on, and then if we can draw a Tron piece here, we'll be able to be cooking with some gas and get our Tron assembled very quickly. Alright, so luckily they don't even have a creature get under Chalice. So this should be pretty good as long as they don't have something like a Braid to deal with it. Oh, Spell Pierce, wow. I was not expecting that. That isn't a common card that I've seen in a lot of these decks, but it really got me there. Alright, we might be in a bad spot here now, actually. We were kind of leaning on that Chalice pretty heavily. So they do have the creature. Well, they have two, wow. Alright, so we got another Tron land, so at least we will have Tron here. So next turn we'll be able to cast a really big Walking Ballista. So it's better than nothing. It's unfortunate to see that Lava Dart. It's kind of doing double duty here. It's going to be hitting me here on offense, and then it'll protect their creatures from my Walking Ballista on its flashback side that is 0 mana for them, and they can just tap out and use it to protect their creatures. Well, I guess they're just going to go full offense with it. Alright. I'd love to see them actually cast another 1-mana spell. Well, maybe not now. I really hope I'm not dead here, actually. That would be really unfortunate. Alright, I'm down to 3. Not a great spot to be in. Alright, so we alternatively could get Blast on here to kill their creatures. But I think that if they have a spell, regardless of what it is, they would have just cast it there to kill us. So we should just be getting Tron, and they shouldn't have any way to protect their creatures from Walking Ballista. So we're going to be getting a power plant here. So we're kind of priced into just using it right now. No, I was never going to get another land other than Power Plant and Zergon. I just kind of wanted to talk through my lines. I'm recording a video for YouTube right now, so just kind of wanted to give full explanations. Alright, so we really just gotta fade bolts here, just burn spells in general. Alright, so this is just a redraw for them. Seeing one of the Drakes would be really scary. But hopefully they just crack this Fiery Islet. Alright. Alright, so I think we've turned a bit of a corner here. Obviously we still die to a bolt, but we're kind of going to be in a good position here. We're going to be applying a clock. I don't know if it's pronounced Islet or Islet. I think it has to be Islet. I don't think we can afford to just leave it back. We just want to try and end the game as fast as possible at this point. They have the inevitability here where they're inevitably just going to draw a bolt and kill us. Alright, please no bolt, please no bolt. Alright, that's still not a great one to see. We gotta draw something really good here. Alright, this is pretty good. So we're just gonna attack first. think if I had cast the Thought Knot first, they would have snap blocked it. I don't know if it matters too much. Alright. We'll just be casting our Thought Knots here, see what they have. We have to take a card, which they possibly could have built up this Soulscar Mage enough to have enough prowess triggers to kill me. Alright, so I don't like seeing that, but they probably just have a land in their hand. Alright, so it's going to come down to this top deck on my opponent. If they can't get anything good, I'm going to be able to kill them next turn. But if they draw a burn spell, I will be dead. They also have lots of redraws like Mutagenic Growth and Manamorphose here as well. Yep, so this is a redraw. Plenty of cards I died to. Lava Dart, Bolt, Burst Lightning. Alright, another redraw here. Another, even like a redraw effect, gives them another redraw off of the Thought Knots here, which is kind of scary. So they're either slow rolling here, or they don't have anything. So, looks like we just have to block here. Alright, yep, so we got them. I think we got pretty lucky to win that game there. That Spell Pierce on our Chalice was pretty insane. I had never seen that card in that deck before, even in like the sideboard or anything. I don't think it's very common, but I think that the game would have been not close if I could have resolved that Chalice, and that Spell Pierce did a ton of work for them. Really made the game close. But luckily I was the one that got unlucky in the end. Alright, I think this hand's a pretty easy mulligan. It's just not really doing anything. I mean, the best thing that could come out of that hand is if it's a good matchup where Chalice is really good, but then still it's on the draw, and then I don't have anything to back it up. This is just a hand with no lands, so it's a snap ball. So this hand's a little bit better. It's not excellent, but it's a kind of I have to keep it 5. It has Eldrazi's all the way up the curve, plus an Eldrazi Temple, so I think I'm going to keep this, and I think I'm going to pitch Walking Ballista, and actually Matter Reshaper, because I think I want to go turn 1 map into getting another land with it. So we'll pitch Matter Reshaper. Alright, so this is looking like it's going to be a mirror match, or maybe possibly worse, Greentron, which is a very difficult matchup for us. How's it going, Wombo Combo? We are playing a League of Etron and recording a video for it. So I'm kind of I was gonna lead on Urza's Mine here, but I'm kind of priced into leading on Eldrazi Temple. It lets me play a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer and do a turn 3 Reality Smasher, which is quite powerful. We're still gonna play the map here, just use our mana, but I don't think we'll be cracking it next turn. Yeah, that Eldrazi Temple off the top, turn this into a pretty okay keep to just like an excellent 5. Yeah, wombo combo. This is the TunnelingCat's Tron. Alright, so we'll see if they're on the mirror or if they're on the green Tron. Looks like this is the mirror. So I think I just want to take Thought-Knot Seer here. They'll have the ability to cast Matter Reshaper this next turn, but I don't think that that's really going to matter. It just gets outclassed by all of our creatures, so taking Matter Reshaper would be the tempo play, but Thought-Knot Seer is going to be a lot more dangerous long game. I think I might even actually play another Thought-Knot Seer this next turn just to take their Thought-Knot Seer instead of them casting a Thought-Knot Seer and taking mine. Alright, so we're going to lead on an attack here. In case they get something very, very good into their hand, we can take it with a Thought-Knot Seer. I'd be surprised if they didn't just chump block here. They do have the Walking Ballista, but they're going to have 8 mana next turn, and they'll just be able to trade with Thought-Knot straight up with it. Alright. So no block from our opponent. So I'm just going to clear out what's in their hand, because I'm going to get a new look. Maze Mind Tome is very powerful, but I don't want them taking cards out of my hand, so I'm going to take Thought-Knot Seer. How's it going, Chilladad? We are just playing some Etron and recording a video. So I think that they're just going to be pumping it all into Walking Ballista here and then trying to trade with Thought-Knot. Yep. What will likely happen here is that they'll block one with one, and then they will shoot into the other, just covering both of them. So we're going to have Tron now going forward after we crack this map. This Reality Smasher happily kind of plays pretty well into what they're doing. It'll be interesting to see how they block. I have to assume that they're gonna kill our Thought-Knots. I think we've put ourselves in a little bit of a rough situation, given that they're going to be drawing some cards off of these Thought-Knots. But at the same time, these Thought-Knots got to take a lot of their cards as well. Yeah, so they're going to be kind of winning the late game here now at this point, so I'm going to be trying to just kind of close out the game quickly. A Walking Ballista for myself would be really, really good here. Yeah, the mirror is kind of wild. There's a lot of variance in the mirror, I believe. I believe a lot of good Etron players, such as TheTunnelingCat, believes that as well. I think TheTunnelingCat calls it a clown fiesta because it's kind of just an RNG wheel in this matchup a little bit. In Pauper, Ryan, I think that you should play white-red. So getting a Tome of our own is pretty good here. I'm surprised to see that they didn't play their Tome. I don't know what that signals. It could possibly be that they have a spatial contortion, which would be pretty bad for us. So we're gonna get a tower here. And we've assembled Tron. Yeah, red deck wins is fine. I just find that I think red deck wins is kind of a deck that has no like great matchups. Wow. So this Dismember is just excellent here. So how do I think that they'll block? I gotta really think about how they want to block here. Also, that the fact that they didn't play their Maze Mind Tome. We can possibly get a pretty good blowout here, so I'm just gonna attack in and see what happens. Oh, okay. Be interesting if I should fire off this Dismember right now. In Modern right now, Ryan, I don't know what you should play in Modern right now. It kind of just feels like you should just play a tier 1 deck like Etron, Ponza, Dredge, whatever, and just hope to get there with the matchup lottery. Yeah, I think we should actually just go for this Dismember. Best that they can do is just shoot me for 1. Yeah, that's true. Red-Black Prowess seems to be a very popular deck right now. That could be pretty good going forward, although I think that people are very high on Etron, which is a bad matchup for it, given the TunnelingCat's recent PTQ win. You kind of have to go with the trends. I think it's difficult too with leagues because people don't really metagame for leagues. They just kind of are trying stuff out. So this is really unfortunate for us. So I don't even know what we can really draw here that's going to be excellent for us. Possibly a Karn, I guess. Yeah, we can't even activate our Maze Mind Tome. We're kind of stuck here. they're going to be able to start getting, what's the card called? It's in my sideboard as well. Liquid metal coating, and they're just going to be destroying us with that. Yeah, we're pretty much shut out of the game now. Can't even draw a Walking Ballista to kill them because Karn shuts that off. Interesting that they got a Worm Coil. Blaststone would play pretty well, but they can just get a, actually... No, Blaststone should be actually pretty good here. Now it kind of makes sense why they got their Worm Coil. I'm in a pretty bad spot, because I'm probably going to have to go up with Blaststone now and kill their Karn, rather than just killing their bridge and being able to attack. So this is just a massive Walking Ballista. So I think we gotta put this to 4. If that's even possible, yeah, it should be. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then it will be at 4. And we have to rip a Karn here.
Memories that will keep you from traveling free. Lay it all down, lay it all down when you go low.
Yeah, we're in a bad spot here. We can redraw with this. If we can draw a Walking Ballista, we can win. That is just a do-nothing card. Yeah, we had outs the Karn and Walking Ballista there, because the Karn could have got us a Walking Ballista. We're going to be starting to gain life off of these Maze Mind Tomes, so it's going to make it even harder for us to close out the game. So they got Tech Edge here, so they can Tech Edge our Power Plant or our Urza Tower, and cuts us off of mana pretty nicely. Yeah. I would have gotten the Power Plant personally there. I think it's better to get non-tower lands first, since, like I said, the tower coming in will be the land that comes in untapped and will produce 3 mana rather than 2, which is what the other Tron lands produce. So they Chalice on 1, so we don't even get a chance to play this Expedition map. So we still have Walking Ballista isn't out. No. Oh no, we didn't even have outs for the Walking Ballista because they have Maze Mind Tome that they're going to gain life off of. Yeah, we're just dead at this point. There's no way I'm going to be able to kill them, and they're going to get their Walking Ballista big enough to kill us first. So we're just going to concede this game. do we sideboard for the mirror? So we take out our All Is Dust, our Chalices, this all makes sense. Then we bring in all of our Pithing Needle effects, Pithing Needle and Sorcerer's Spyglass. Worm Coil Engine. Ratchet Bomb and... where is that? Our Walking Ballista. And then that's how we sideboard. So what's going on with this hand here? Yeah, this hand's a little bit weak. We kind of want a really, really powerful hand for this matchup. I'm willing to mulligan a lot to get to something really powerful. Yeah, I don't know. Ratchet Bomb, I guess. That's just in TheTunnelingCat's sideboard guide. I mean, I guess it's just like global removal, right? Which seems fine. Jeez. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's better to try and get lucky on a 5 or if it's better to just keep this and try and get lucky on Rip a Tower. I think we're gonna keep this. I think we'll get rid of Matter Reshaper. I'd rather just spend the mana and draw cards with Maze Mind Tome, and Matter Reshaper's pretty low power level. So they kept on 7, so hopefully they either don't know how to mulligan in the matchup, or maybe they have just an insano hand. Alright. This Maze Mind Tome will help us, should help us a little bit with trying to find this tower. Alright, so they do not have a sicko hand, unless they're gonna play Eldrazi Temple next turn and Reality Smasher us. We'll scry here. I'm gonna bottom this. I think I'm not gonna scry on my upkeep, I'd rather just draw a card. Package is okay. Or maybe I should have drawn a card first there to see if I hit the land. I don't think it really matters. We didn't have a play. We'll draw now though. See if we can hit like a map. Oh, alright. Now that we have the Thought Nuts here, that's a power and full enough card though. I'll just pay the mana for it. So I'll probably be scrying on upkeep this next turn. Ooh, Karn is very, very powerful. Yeah, I think that they kept a pretty Garbo hand as well, but I'm hoping that they don't just have Natty Tron here, which it makes it awkward that they played their Eldrazi Temple first. I'm not sure if I want this Karn. This Karn is very, very good. It'll be good if I can untap with it. This is pretty close. I think I'm going to top it. What we name doesn't really matter, they don't have counter spells. We'll play our Karn. So I think I should get Liquid Metal Coating here. What I'm really fearing is Reality Smasher though, but I think this is powerful enough that if they don't have the Reality Smasher or like a Thought-Knot Seer, we'll just be able to kind of take over, and this will just pretty much win the game if they don't have anything like that. Yep, so they did have the Tron. And they have a card of their own. Be interesting to see what they got. Maybe a boat. No ensnaring bridge. Alright. Alright, so we really want to draw a land here. A land would be great. We can take out the Karn. We can't activate our Maze Mind Tome on upkeep because of Karn. So is there anything really good in our sideboard we want to get? Something with like a static ability. We have Boat in our board, which is good, but then we don't have the land. I think we might just have to tick up on Maze Mind Tome and hit their card with it. Yeah, too bad we don't have a Darksteel Citadel on the board. That would have been great. Alright, let's have a peek at what's going on behind the curtain here. Oh, so they boarded in the boat and they have it in their hand. Alright, so this is definitely what we want to take here. And luckily for us, they have a lot of lands in their hand, which means that they're going to have a hard time emptying their hand pretty fast. Damn, hate seeing that. So what land did they play this turn? Or is this mine? Surprising that they didn't just... I think my opponent's not playing very well. They should have played Attack Edge. Like I said, I'm already trying to draw lands here. Come on, land. Please land. Doesn't even have to be a tower. Tower would be great, though. Tower would just swing this game. They couldn't kill the tome with Spatial Contortion, Chill of Death. They only had the Eldrazi Temple, and Eldrazi Temple doesn't tap for 2 mana when it comes to Spatial Contortion. Well, Canadian Bobo, I have Karn and Liquid Metal Coating, but they also have a Karn that I have to deal with. It doesn't do anything in this case. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry, I thought you meant before they had the Yugen. Wow, so this is just abysmal. This is really just terrible here. No, I thought you were talking about the turn prior when they just had when I had attacked with my Maze Mind Tome into their card. So this is just kind of a full punish here. I'm not sure if there's really anything worthwhile getting. Is it just better to make a blocker here or to get both? I think we're just getting very, very unfortunate here. I think we should just make Expedition Map a little bit of a chump blocker here. And then we'll pass. I don't want them to... They'll just chump block with this on my Thought Knot Seer if I attack. And then they'll have a way to swing back.
TK, he's my favorite.
I'm just tryna, I ain't looking for no love. You ain't gon' find it if you looking in the club. She can't hold a convo, all she think about is drugs. Penthouse at the Cosmo, now she dancing in the tub. Jacuzzi, Uzi. Bring a friend from my friend, he ain't choosy. Said they live down in Soho and they roomy.
Not sure if I could have done anything really different here. The only like big point of the game feels like when I kept the card on top instead of trying to dig for another land. But I think I would not. I think I would have been destroyed at this point if I hadn't taken that Karn. Kind of feels like Karn is the only thing keeping me in this game. So they tech edge my tech edge. Alright. Interesting. So I guess they want to just deal with my liquid metal coating. Yeah, I think my opponent is playing really, really poorly here. I think taking out my tech edge was really foolish. I don't know. I think my opponent is actually opening the door for me to win this game.
Time for the mood swings. I wake up at 7:30, bitch, you know I do things. I was in the lab till 3 a.m. Kicking bitches out the condo like PAM. And she say she tryna crash at my homies out in Malibu. You're lucky that you're here, you need to show a little gratitude. Take a little
alright, tower please.
With your attitude. And she coming down without a parachute.
Come on.
Crash landed, I'm the last man standing. I've been counting money till my hand been cramping. And I stay around some paper like my office up at Scranton. But my office is the booth, I get it popping with my tunes. I'm just tryna, I ain't looking for no love. You ain't gon' find it if you looking in the club. She can't hold a convo, all she think about is drugs. Penthouse at the Cosmo, now she dancing in the tub. Jacuzzi, Uzi. Bring a friend from my friend, he ain't choosy.
So I think I have to take up on Maze Mind Tome here and then just play my Walking Bliss as a chump blocker. And then I think I'm going to get in on their Karn. I won't deal any damage, but hopefully these are just blanks. And they'll be stuck in their hand. Kind of have to take... Why is the opponent just doing these things before I even, like... I don't understand. There's just kind of a tilting match to lose. My opponent's playing really, really poorly. Oh, I can't even... Oh, I understand now. That is my bad, actually. That is my mistake. That makes sense that they did that. Doesn't take away the fact that my opponent is not playing very well. Yeah, so we'll just play this as kind of like a 1-1er. They'll probably just Karn tick up on it, but... Actually, yeah, I don't know what our opponent's doing. They can just get their boat, and, like, it basically ends the game. So if our opponent sees the line here to get their boat, the game is basically just going to be over. Well, it doesn't matter that they can't activate boat. They can tick up on their Karn to make it a creature and attack with it. They don't have to activate the boat. Yeah, I exiled the boat with my Thought-Knots here, so it's in exile. Yeah, but Chillidan, they can just draw the cards and then cast, like, there's nothing stopping them from just getting up to enough cards where they can attack with boat and then doing it. Like, there's no way that I'm, like, even if they put them, like, their card down to 1, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to get through and kill it. Yeah, so I think that this is what they're going to do here. Okay, I guess so. I don't know if Legacy Prelims Fire Andrew. I don't really play Legacy, so I assume that they chose Karn. Is Abandoned Reason? I'm just gonna concede here. There's no way that I win this game. They're just gonna build up a big enough board with Ugin. It'll just take a long time to happen. And I'd rather just concede. I think the writing's on the wall for me there. I just wanted opponent to get boat and just kind of end the game early, but guess not. So, yeah, this hand's not powerful enough to keep. This hand's very similar, not powerful enough to keep. Might even be worthwhile going to 4 on this one, it's really bad. Alright, I think this is a reasonable 4. I think I'm going to pitch my Dismembers. And, yeah, probably like that. Obviously, I don't like going to 4, but I think that this hand is better than any of the other hands I saw. So we're just going to get punished here if we draw an Eldrazi Temple. So Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, of course. Of course. You love to see it. F's in chat for that one. Oh. So I think I should just get a... a cavern here. Cavern, we'll name Eldrazi. Yeah, from what the most of the Etron's players say, it seems like leading on the Tron land is correct. Alright, let's see what they're up to here. So it looks like just your basic blue-white control deck with frantic inventory. Alright. So I think it's between Cryptic Command and Supreme Verdict here. I think that, yeah, Supreme Verdict is just going to be the take. Big Bad Sword. I think the Tron lands look pretty sick. I think that the Karn looks a little bit goofy. But yeah, I really like the Tron lands from the Double Master set, like the box toppers or whatever they are. Yeah, I know the Karn's part of the mosaic. It just it doesn't stop it from kind of looking a little bit goofy to me. I mean, when you see like the art in like a ton of memes, like I think that says something. I think it's cool and unique. I just think it looks a little bit goofy. So unfortunately we can't just jam Karn here because they'll just get mana leaked. Oh yeah, if you are a Tron player, you are just like, you're getting all the like swag and bling and all that from the new set. Yeah, I really like the land art. I think the land art is sick. I think that Tron decks are going to look like really cool and swagged out now. Oh yeah, I wasn't even thinking about, the Worm Coil. I think the Worm Coil is really sick. Wow, so this is awesome. As long as they don't have Force of Negation, this is really good for us. Yeah, I really like the Worm Coil though. I think the Worm Coil is sweet. It's kind of got like a Predator mouth to it. So they did have the Force of Negation. Alright, I'm not 100% sure what... Alright. So our opponent's just going to back Cryptic Command, I have to guess. Oh, they're getting back a Frantic Inventory. Interesting. I find that to be a little bit surprising.
That's why I go hard and live life to the fullest. I shouldn't be here, but I don't expect y'all to notice. We came from the bottom, making our way to the top. Cause losing's not an option, I get it from my pop. Maneuvering through a world that really don't like me. I focus on my morals and principles.
So I think maybe they're just looking for a path or something here.
No contradiction, I did it my way. So they said that I changed.
Path actually wouldn't be that bad. Let's replay my Karn. Yeah, I'm not just gonna cast this Karn into this mana leak. I think we're in a pretty bad spot here. They just have so many cards in their hand, and eventually they're just gonna find a way to like stabilize the board. There's just like really my only real threat here is Thought-Knots here, and when they deal with it, like with a Wrath or something like that, they're gonna even get to draw a card off of it. Yeah, like this is really unfortunate for us. I get to draw the card. Let's see if I can get something good off this Matter Shaper. Well, another Karn, I guess. It's pretty brutal here. We're just gonna get time walked, because they're just gonna mana leak our Karn. Yeah, so we're kind of forced into it. So that's gonna be a no. Yeah, hopefully a smasher off the top. I think we kind of just have to like jam Karn here. We're just in a pretty bad spot, and if it resolves, it kind of flips the script. Oh, they have snap anyways, so I don't know what I'm doing. They're just gonna snap, Force of Negation or snap Mana Leak. I don't really think I had like an alternative great way. I could have like just Chaliced on 2, but I think Chaliced on 2 is like pretty bad. Yeah, they just have Cryptic. I guess we're still playing for the smasher off the top. Ugh, now they have Field of Ruin. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna concede this game. Like, they're going to 8 cards in hand. They have Field of Ruin to deal with my Cavern. This game's pretty much over at this point. I don't think casting the Chalice on 2 there was probably right, but I don't think it would have affected the game too much. All right, so how do I board for this matchup? Alright, so it looks like I cut a Spatial. And 4 Chalice. 4 Spyglass, Needle. 2 Relics, that makes sense. And a Walking Ballista. Alright, so let's get it. How's it going, Gasman? Sam is interesting. Nice. How'd you do in your leagues today, Gasman? Got some good 4-1s, maybe a 5-0 in there. This is an interesting one. I think Matter Shaper actually kind of shines in a matchup like this with the fair decks. However, it's pretty slow, but it does have the out to the tower. Ooh, back-to-back 5-0s? That's pretty hot. I think that because we're on 7, it's worthwhile to just go to 6 to see. Yeah, this is not better. Alright, I think this is we have to keep on 5 type of hand. So we definitely want to put Waste and Blast Zone back. So we're just going to lead on Power Plant here. So yeah, it makes more sense to play this because I have more mines in my deck than I'll have temples. Alright, so our opponent's opting. Alright, Hopefully we can draw mine here. Woo! That's that whitelist for you. We have to beat in, even if they have a path here, that'll be pretty good for us. Ramps us up more, and they'll have to 2-for-1 themselves. Do they have mismatching off guard? They do. Yikes. Alright, Field of Ruin, hate to see it, but it is what it is. Yep, going for a non-tower piece. Pretty smart. Wow, this is really good. We were just ripping off the top like a god today. Yeah, I think there's a good chance I stream the Mana Trader Swiss. The biggest issue I find sometimes with streaming a lot of like the big constructed events I play is that Yama also streams them, and I feel like we share a lot of audience. Well, I know that we share a lot of audience members just based on analytics, so I kind of get slaughtered on views when that happens. Alright, yeah, my opponent just can't deal with this there. We got real lucky on that one. So, yeah, we're just going to run it back the same. But yeah, I think there's a good chance I stream the Mana Trader Swiss, and I think there's a PTQ, a modern PTQ this Sunday that I'll probably definitely, I'm almost sure I'll stream that. So this is an easy mod, just one land. And another awful one. Ooh, so we got Tron here. It's pretty good. So I'll keep this, and I'll probably just put back Waves and E-Temple. We'll just play Relic here. Oh, I'm glad to see IAIs is got enabled. Yoma said it might take a little bit to catch in, but I guess it did it in one day. I wonder if it's worthwhile the Pithing Needle on Field of Ruin here. I think I might actually. Interesting to see if they try and fight over this. Well, they are going to fight over it pretty hard, actually, with a force. So I'll just exile their off to their yard now. Yeah, so they did have the Field of Ruin.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you kids, it's a fucking jungle out there. Keep your head on tight. Unknown brain and mind me, baby, let's do it.
Yep, so we just gotta hit the waste. It's pretty unfortunate. Thought not would be great here. Can't be that lucky. It's kind of tough to know when we should be cracking our relic here. It's tough because they can just get a Skull and Tarn Mystic Sanctuary, and I kind of want to save it for that. But at the same time, our hand's pretty anemic. Alright, so this gets around Mana Leak, so they'll have to use a little bit of like one of their good counter spells to stop this. Yep, the Eldrazi Delver, very excellent creature. Too bad they have paths in their deck, not regular removal spells, because this is getting a waste. This matchup wastes are pretty important because they have so many ways like Field of Ruin and Path, which kind of like get your basics out. So now anything like a Field of Ruin is just going to be basically just straight up strip mine. And paths are going to kill for no value. Damn. Interesting to see them fetch now. I think I'm definitely going to be cracking this. Oh, yeah, 100% I'm going to be cracking this. Yeah. I think the Jace makes me want to crack either way because it kind of means that I have to like starting to get some pressure on it. Alright, Thought Nuts here are pretty good. It'd be interesting if I should just play a Walking Ballista and kill their Jace though.
6-foot ditch from a snitch. Paparazzi on my ass like click, click, click when you see me.
Gasman, you'll just have to go back and look at the VOD or check the TunnelingCat's sideboard guide. I don't want to kind of just like be giving away like a sideboard guide that isn't mine. Yeah, I agree. I think Ballista is the play.
I'm like a super white boy. Kingpins call me decoy.
That's true. Thought Nuts very bad against Jace.
White Ferrari, black Bugatti, I just switched toys. Wasn't getting checks fast enough. Put the camera by the bed, I got him fast enough. Put the cash in St. Laurent and then I fasten up. Just flew first class from I don't give a fuck.
Alright, so we got double Thought Knot here. Alright, counter draw, and then we'll just play another one. Hopefully they don't have a path. Oh, they do. Like I said, we're kind of just can't get anything out of this, so that's pretty bad for us. But we get to loot for them here now. Wow. Holy. So I think it's got to be Mana Leak here, right? Monastery Mentor is definitely the most powerful card in their hand, but Walking Ballista can deal with it. Yeah, I think Mana Leak is the take. Why Mana Leak? Well, like, say they play Monastery Swiftspear here, right? Or Monastery Mentor, right? So they have Mana Leak back, right? Like, I just get destroyed by casting this Walking Ballista, where now it's basically free to, like, oh, over Snap? Well, like, the Snap I can just, like, kill with the Walking Ballista, and then it just taxes their mana more to have to snap back something. And then I could draw, say, like, a Scavenger Grounds, deal with a card in Graveyard. Or, yeah, like, this just played out perfectly. So insane. So insane. That's crazy. That's a big feels bad man right there. Holy. That's pretty disgusting.
It's all about humanity.
And like, even playing it on 2 there to like try and play around Mana Leak, they could just Mana Leak it to buff up their guy, and then I can't really get it very well. Like, I could get it on their next turn, but then like, they'll let snap for something on their next turn, and then I can only get like, and then I won't even have the mana to have played the relic. Yeah, so there's not even a way that I can play around it. Alright, so I think this Maze Mind has got to do a lot of work here. Yeah, they have Force Snap, unknown. Yeah, so forcing here is probably fine. I mean, it's pretty good if pretty bad if I draw a Karn over the next couple turns.
It's all about humanity.
So what I'm really looking for here is like an All Is Dust. Yeah. An All Is Dust will actually put us in a really good spot. Did I put in Ratchet Bomb? There.
It's all about humanity.
No, but I can get a card. I think I should have 5. I think I should put some counters on this Blast Zone. Alright, we need some All Is Dust action here. Alright, so we got a Walking Ballista.
Without you, I remember myself, my name. Forgot about all you tried to change.
I think maybe we might just have to kill their tokens with this. Because I think we're going to need an All Is Dust regardless. I don't think that we can grind this out one by one. So I think we're just trying to buy some time here right now. So we're likely just dead here because they get to brainstorm. They're just gonna find some way to like just draw a card or do something stupid like an opt or a frantic inventory or whatever. Yeah, so we're just dead. It's possible that I could have just left the Walking Ballista at 1 and killed the token there, but and then no, it doesn't really matter actually because they play it before they attack anyways. Alright, so that's unfortunate. So let's try and get a 3-2 out of this. I think that's just kind of how these matches have gone, kind of like proves how I feel about Modern. Thanks for the follow, Triple Barrel Like a Boss. About kind of how you just have to play like a good deck, which I think Etron is, and then hope to get there with matchups. Like, we lost a pretty random game to the Mirror, and then we lost to a pretty bad matchup, but then we beat a good matchup.
The back and forth has got me so messed up. Don't ignore.
So this has turn 3 Tron, so this is going to be a keep.
We've had enough.
Also has some of the most powerful cards in our deck with Karn and Thoughtnuts here.
You hold the strings without me knowing. Why do I have to suffer through the thinking? Why do I have the feeling that we're sinking? I need to find a way.
Alright, so we're playing against another prowess player. We have Dismember, which it does cost us life, but some of these prowess creatures, they'll definitely do a lot more than 4 damage, so it is a trade up in life, as well as just being a 1-for-1. Interesting, no play from them. So we'll get the mine here.
It's got me turned around, but I can't ignore the feelings that I found in this whole damn thing that we got going.
So I'm gonna Thought Not, I believe, just have a look at see what's going on.
Why do
They try and fire off some burn through. Oh, okay, so they're just gonna let it happen, I guess. Wow, yeah, opponent's hand is really not doing much. I think I should just take Abbott here. And then we don't need to fire off this Dismember. We'll put the onus on our opponent to try and give negative counters to our Thoughtnuts here first. Likely what's going to happen is they'll attack, I'll block, and then they'll try and fire it off, and then I'll just fire off the Dismember in response to that. And it will be a 2-for-1. Yep, just kind of happening how I expected it to happen. Now they do have an unknown card in their hand, so that could blow me out, but I can't really, like, not take this opportunity. Yeah, so they just concede. I forget how we sideboard for this matchup. Let me have a look. So, yeah, 3 Karns, 2 Ugins, 4 Boat, Wormcoil, all is dust. Oh, yeah, the Ballista comes in anyways. Yeah, all is dust. And then Ratchet Bomb, I believe. Yep. Yeah, that was a pretty easy game there. Our opponent kept a real bad one. I certainly would have mulliganed if I was my opponent. I think mulliganing is one of the hardest things to do in Magic. It is probably one of the most, if not the most, skill-intensive thing to do in Magic. And I think that Modern is one of like the most polarly like mulliganing in Modern is very, very important. I think people don't mulligan enough. I think Modern and Limited are the formats where mulliganing is the most important. I think in Limited, often people mulligan too much, and I think in Modern, people very, very frequently don't mulligan enough. So this hand's kind of bad. We don't really have an Eldrazi for these Eldrazi temples to pay off, but we do have a Chalice, which is very, very good in this matchup, even being on the draw. So I think we will keep and just kind of hope to draw a good Eldrazi here. Again, this is pretty close, but this is kind of a feels bad keep here. Interesting. So our opponent has Goblin Guy in their deck, which is not really common with these decks. All right, so we did get a spicy Eldrazi and Reality Smasher on top of our deck. So this is kind of a burn prowess mismatch. So they likely have like Lava Spikes in their deck. Going to be a little bit more different than the blue-red prowess deck that we had just played against. I highly doubt they have any blue in their deck at all. Alright, Blast Zone pretty good. They also likely have like Eidolon in their deck too. Or maybe not because they have Abbott. I'm not really sure why they played their Seal of Fire there. I think it would have been, I mean, unless their hand is like pretty full, it'd probably just be a better payoff to play this to trigger prowess. Interesting. I guess it also plays around Chalice. It's not really like a common line, I guess, from this deck. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think we should just Chalice here. Chilladead, I will get your song request after the YouTube video recording. I just want to have all copyright-free music in the video. I'll be streaming more after I'm done like this league. No, it's okay. That's why I'm not really like playing my regular playlist as well. So 2 uncastable cards, which is great. Hopefully they don't have like an Abrade here. So we just want to play the Reality Smasher here. Or maybe we'll play Thought Knot actually. Yeah, we'll play Thought Knot. So I think we just want to pop off Blast Zone here, and then we can start getting in. something going on here now. We're pretty free here to just start reality smashing. And I highly doubt they'll have anything here to stop us. They're just gonna be firing their spells off into this chalice. Alright. So we got there now. Alright, so we're gonna be going into our last round, and hopefully we can end up with a positive record and a little bit of prize. We're playing for min prize and pride. Alright, so we're on the draw here. So this hand's not really excellent. I think this is going to be a mulligan for us. Just not doing anything super powerful. And this deck just has so many powerful draws that I think it's worthwhile the mulligan. Yeah, it's not good enough. Alright, this hand's really good. So I need to keep these 4, and then so I think I'm going to put a Tome and an Eldrazi Temple on the bottom. We have turn 3 Tron here. So, looks like they're Death Shadow here. Knowing that going forward, Chalice is very excellent against them. So we're just going to crack here for our tower. So this is likely going to be the turn where they're casting a threat, whether it's a Gurmag Angler or a Death Shadow. Yeah, looks like a Gurmag. So let's get our tower here. See what we might get here. The biggest issue with playing against this deck is that they have access to Kolaghan's Command in their main board. Very good against us. We have lots of artifacts that destroys artifacts. We kind of mess up our plans. I'm thinking I'm going to get a bridge here, though. I just hope that they don't have the Kolaghan's Command. This deck does a lot of damage to itself intentionally, too, so maybe this Walking Ballista will be able to get them out of nowhere. This bridge also gets under a Stubborn Denial as well, which is pretty good. We'll just pass. Kolaghan's Command here will be the nightmare situation. as it'll just be 3 for winning us, and we'll just kind of be really off of our base. We'll be able to kill the Ensnaring Bridge, kill the Karn, and we'll probably have to discard a card. Alright, so it looks like that's not what's happening here. Okay, Aluris, interesting.
Asking for forgiveness, 'cause you should know only fools tread with the angels.
We'll play Maze Blind Tome here.
Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment.
Alright, so stubborn now. I'm fine with that.
Some things never change, never change.
Is there something worthwhile that we want to get here?
I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame.
Why what? 1983 AC.
Never change. You break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess we could have Thunder Titan.
Some things never change, never change. Redemption never came.
Yeah, I guess I didn't consider that. Yeah, that's likely probably what we should have just done.
It's easy to set a young heart on the run,
I think we're just gonna get a relic here.
to see it crashing out the sky, falling one by one. Walking alone on the coldest night. There's
We'll
nothing
just
I
tap like
could
this.
ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye. There's nothing I can ever say.
I guess the biggest issue with having gotten Sundering Titan would be that they get to attack with the Aluris, and it's just like, I probably would have been fine though. Yeah, I probably should have just gotten Sundering Titan. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8,
Defeated by the dreams and the
11.
memories we've made. To see it crashing out the
So let's check
skies
out.
like a tidal wave down on me.
And then we'll just play this for 5 here.
On the coldest night. There's nothing I can ever say to change your mind. I gotta live without your love. We've said goodbye. There's nothing I can ever say
Yeah, I'm just gonna scoop dust.
to change your
How we go for this matchup. So we take out our Karn players. Rugans and Portia. Rugan seems powerful, but I guess that trading a Rugan for a stub is pretty bad for us. Bring in Ballista. We bring in Wormcoil. Two relics. Ratchet Bomb. God's Crypt, and All Is Dust. It's interesting that we're cutting Ugin, we're bringing in All Is Dust. Yeah, I don't think there's anything odd that we're not bringing in. The bringing in All Is Dust seems a little bit weird to me. They're not really like a deck that goes wide and then like the Ugin will, like, they usually just kind of, they're a pretty threat light deck, so the Ugin can just like deal with their one threat, and then it's better going later, costs less. But I don't know, I guess All Is Dust is better according to the TunnelingCat's guide. Alright, so I do like the double dismember. I think those are really, really good. How many play points do you have, Andrew? That usually determines if you should open chests or not. Yes, you should open the chests if you only have 530 play points. Yeah, you should definitely open the chests if you only have 530 play points. I think this is a really close one, but I think there can be better. If this had a chalice in it, I'd probably keep it. Alright, so this is just a worse hand. Mistaken69, thank you so much for the raid. How was your stream? We're playing some Etron. I think I gotta go to 4 here. Alright, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna like ride this chalice, I think. The Blast Zone is pretty nice as well. What were you streaming today, Mistaken?
We ain't perfect, no. It's a work in progress. Good things go slow. I'm no saint. I fall and you pick me up again.
I really hope that this chalice can get under a stub here. I really don't hope they don't have a stub. Oh, damn. Maybe they'll just have a Death Shadow and it won't even get under that. They'll have to have another Street Wraith. Oh, no, they have a Gurmag here, actually. Damn, this is, like, real bad for us. Yep. So we're definitely going to get the chalice down, but we're going to be hard-pressed to find an answer for this Gurmag, and it will kill us very quickly. Maybe this All Is Dust will come to shine if I can get a couple of Eldrazi temples and then cast it. So it's unfortunate they have Teamer Battle Rage in their deck, which will speed up their clock. Because we're going to need as much time as we can possibly get here. I think we have to crack for an Eldrazi Temple. We don't have time to be trying to find Tron. We just want to... if we find another Eldrazi Temple, we'll be able to cast All Is Dust, or just another land after 2. Like after playing Blaststone, and then another land, we can All Is Dust as well. Alright, what's this? Oh, so this is just terrible for us now. We're pretty dead in the water. What do I have to do to get out of this situation? I think we have to pitch Blast Zone. Next turn, play Chalice, and then just hope to hit Eldrazi Temple. Is that better than just hoping that they don't have Stub? They always have Stub, is the issue. No, what's it play? Pitch Blast Zone. Also with this line, if we draw like a Dismember, we can Chalice for 1 and then into a Dismember. So we just gotta get rid of her. Yeah, but the thing about that then is that the Stub eats the Chalice eats the Stub. So it doesn't matter if they stub our Chalice. Like, I'd be fine with them. Like, I wouldn't be fine with them stubbing our Chalice, but, like, just anything where we can cast like this. Alright, so this is just going to work as a blocker, I think. Because I don't think that we're winning this game unless we cast this All Is Dust and it resolves. Yeah, but then if they have Snapcaster Stub, then they'll just stub the All Is Dust. Or, like, they would have just had the stub for the All Is Dust. Like, basically the Chalice makes it so that it's either stopping a stub from being cast or eating a stub. There's no situation where, like, they have a stub and the All Is Dust resolves if I have the Chalice. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they're going to have multiple stubs or whatever, then, like, it doesn't matter. And then if they just have one, like, the Chalice eats it. But we can beat a stub. If this turn we had played Chalice and they would have stubbed it, and the next turn we rip an Eldrazi Temple and All Is Dust them, then that beats them. This becomes a 6/6. Here. Yeah, but I'm saying that I don't think that we win this game in any way if we don't cast All Is Dust. And we have a limited amount of time because of this Gerbeg Angler. No, I understand. I'm just like, and like, it just helps to like talk through it as well. Like, I'm not like saying that like what you're saying is like so outlandish or whatever. I'm just kind of like trying to explain it all. Yeah, so they actually just have croaks. So I think there's just no way that we can get it here this one. So let's see what it's going to draw. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right, one game for all the marbles. We also multed for that game, so like it was whatever. I don't think that the games that I've played this league have really been representative of like why this deck should mull so much. We've kind of like mulled and then just had to keep like man 5s and stuff like that. I think only one match that we played, or one game that we played, and I think we lost it, was like we mulled a 5 and it was like a nut 05, where it went like turn 2 Thought Knot, turn 3 Reality Smasher. So anybody who's just kind of coming into the stream or came in with the raid, my name is PTarts to win. I'm a moto grinder. I'm pretty well known by other moto grinders. I'm really new to streaming. I've just been doing it for like a week or so now. I have a lot of results to my name, a lot of like challenge finishes, a lot of PTQ finishes, some mocks finishes. But if you were interested in seeing more of my content and wanted to give me a follow, I'd really appreciate it. It gets me to stream more and gets me to have a little bit of a better audience. But yeah, so let's get into this last game of this league. So this hand's bad, but it does have Chalice for 1 on the play, but I think it's a ball. Yeah, this is a bad one. So this is a keep here. We'll pitch Ballista Tome, I think. We'll just lead on mine, and we'll pass. Yeah, Hendrik, we've got some Pop-Tart finishes. There's probably any thoughts here. Okay. Wow, that's interesting. They took Matter Reshaper. That's a good draw. Yeah, I'm not really sure why they took Matter Reshaper. Even if like they have like a Colliance man to deal with this, Colliance man deals with Matter Reshaper, and this will probably just get me a card regardless. The same way that Matter Reshaper will. Like, this next turn, I was planning on playing this Maze Mind Tome over Matter Shaper. I was kind of just going to use Matter Shaper to, like, trade for something and give me a little bit of value. Interesting. So, we're going to scry here. We'll put that on top. And we will pitch this Eldrazi Temple. So we'll just be drawing a card with this Maze Mind Tome. Their build is pretty threat dense actually for most shadowless. They have Luris, they have Kroxa. I mean, I don't play against a lot of shadow these days. It's kind of fallen out of favor, but it's not really what I remember of shadow decks. Yep, so they're gonna get my Dismember, unfortunately. So it looks like this Kroxa is their threat. Because otherwise they would have just had a Death Shadow or a Gurmag there. So we'll get to draw here. Ooh, that is so good. That is really, really good. I think we're just going to scry here. That's excellent. We'll put that on top. So I think I'm just going to pop this here. Wow, we got really lucky on these last two draws. Yeah, I mean, you win some, you lose some, right? Like, Andrew. We are just, like, wrecking our opponent now. Holy. Those were just, like, the sickest draws. Jeez. Yeah, so I think it's just Snapcaster here, and they're pretty stranded at this point. Yeah, I've had some bad luck with chests recently, too, but, like, when you're that low on play points, you kind of gotta open them. Then we're gonna draw a card with our Maze Mind Tome here. Get to gain some life, draw a card. Probably just gonna be getting a Temur Battle Rage here. I think maybe we should attack first. We'll just cancel out of this. We'll undo. Just in case they have like a Fatal Push or something like that. I kind of want to deal the damage first. Yep, gotta take a Temur Battle Rage out. Now they just have Island Temur Battle Rage. So they gotta draw something good here now, or they're just gonna be dead to these Thought-Knot Seers. It's crazy how well I drew. Like, the last 4 cards off the top of my deck were just the, like, literal best cards. Alright, so this isn't even gonna be a threat. They have to, like, draw a removal spell. I think that, for me, personally, I sell at once I'm under 4,000. Or, sorry. Yeah, once I'm above 4,000, that's when I sell my chests. Alright, we got there. So I'm actually going to open up this chest now. I think I'm under 4,000, so I'll open it. And I have a lot of ticks, too. So let's see what we get here. 25 play points and some garbage bulk rare. So anybody watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment down below. I realize that this was a longer format video. Maybe I should be chopping up my games one by one into multiple videos. I'll have in the description down below links to my Twitter as well as my Twitch channel where I stream almost daily. So go follow me there and look out for when I'm streaming next. Alright, bye now.